The world knows Navy SEALs as America's heroic warriors, immortalized in over 80 bestsellers and blockbuster films like American Sniper. Chris Kyle's memoir sold 6 million copies, spent 37 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list, and the film earned $547.7 million worldwide, making it the highest-grossing war movie in history. SEALs number approximately 2,500 active-duty operators across 8 teams. SEAL Team 6 executed Operation Neptune Spear on May 2, 2011, killing Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Yet almost no one can name the army unit that captured Saddam Hussein, eliminated Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, and killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Delta Force captured Saddam Hussein in December 2003, helped coordinate the killing of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi in 2006, and executed the raid that killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in October 2019. Delta is a nearly invisible unit of about 250 to 300 direct action operators within a roughly 1,000-person organization. How did military history's loudest heroes become legends, while the most elite remain ghosts? A former Delta operator said, "We are very strict with our quiet professionalism. If someone talks, you will probably be blacklisted." The truth behind this manufactured fame gap changes how we see every American Special Operations story. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a directive that would reshape American Special Operations forever. The Navy's new sea, air, and land teams, SEALs, were born from the legacy of World War II frogmen, the underwater demolition teams who cleared beaches before Allied landings. Their mission was clear: operate in any environment, strike from the shadows, and adapt to unconventional warfare. But their creation was also public. Training took place on the beaches of Coronado, California, in full view of passing ships and city skylines. The Navy embraced this visibility, building a tradition of institutional pride and open recruiting that welcomed new volunteers and celebrated the SEAL identity. 15 years later, a very different experiment took shape within the Army. Colonel Charles Beckwith, recently returned from a tour with Britain's 22nd Special Air Service, warned that the United States had no unit capable of true counterterrorism. His answer was Delta Force, founded in 1977 at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Beckwith designed Delta in the image of the Special Air Service. Selection was secretive, training was brutal, and the very existence of the unit was classified. Operators came from across the Army and beyond, but once inside, they started from zero, forging a culture where silence was not just expected, it was enforced. No public ceremonies, no recruiting posters, no acknowledgement that Delta even existed. While the SEALs built a reputation in the open, Delta was meant to be deniable, invisible even to those within the military. These two lineages set the stage for everything that followed. The SEALs' public-facing roots encouraged stories, legends, and recognition. Delta's blueprint demanded secrecy, autonomy, and a refusal to seek the spotlight. From the very beginning, one unit was designed to be seen. The other, to disappear. Navy SEALs stand out in the American imagination not just because of what they do, but because of the sheer volume of stories told about them. The numbers paint a picture that is impossible to ignore. Around 2,500 active-duty SEALs serve across 8 teams, making them a small fraction of the Navy. But their presence in bookstores, movie theaters, and television far outweighs their numbers. In contrast, Delta Force keeps its footprint tiny, only about 250 to 300 direct action operators within a roughly 1,000-person organization. When it comes to fame, the scale tips dramatically in the SEALs' favor. The data is hard to argue with. Chris Kyle's memoir, American Sniper, has sold over 6 million copies and spent 37 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Its film adaptation, starring Bradley Cooper, grossed $547.7 million worldwide, making it the highest-grossing war film in American history. Marcus Luttrell's Lone Survivor also became a bestseller and a $154 million box office hit. Matt Bissonnette's No Easy Day raced up the charts and sparked national headlines. In total, more than 80 memoirs and autobiographies have been published by or about Navy SEALs, a number that eclipses all other special operations units combined. By comparison, Delta Force has produced only a handful of books, most written under pseudonyms or with heavy redactions. Hollywood and television have amplified this divide. Dozens of major films center on SEAL exploits, including Zero Dark 30, Captain Phillips, Act of Valor, and Tears of the Sun. The CBS series SEAL Team ran for 7 seasons, bringing the culture and lingo of naval special warfare into American living rooms. Meanwhile, Delta Force's most visible brush with Hollywood came with Black Hawk Down, a film focused more on the '93 battle in Mogadishu than on the unit itself. Even the Unit, a television show loosely inspired by Delta, lasted only 4 seasons and kept real-life details buried under layers of fiction. This avalanche of books, movies, and media coverage has turned SEALs into household names. Their faces appear on talk shows, their catchphrases on t-shirts, their stories retold in classrooms and boardrooms. The numbers reveal a simple truth. The Navy SEALs have become a brand, fueled by a relentless wave of memoirs and Hollywood scripts. Delta Force, by design, remains in the shadows. Its real victories measured not in box office receipts or bestseller lists, but in silence. A former Delta operator said that the community is very strict with its quiet professionalism, and that if someone talks, they will probably be blacklisted. High-profile missions help explain the contrast. SEAL Team 6 executed Operation Neptune Spear on May 2, 2011, killing Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Delta Force captured Saddam Hussein in December of 2003. Delta helped coordinate the strike that killed Abu Musab al-Zarqawi in 2006. In October of 2019, Delta Force participants executed the raid that killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The facts are clear. A small number of operators, a flood of stories, and a media ecosystem that rewards spectacle have made one unit a public brand, while another equally capable unit remains a phantom even to military enthusiasts. In December 2003, a small team moved quietly through the outskirts of Tikrit, Iraq. Inside a hidden spider hole, they found Saddam Hussein, once the most wanted man in the world. The men who pulled him from the ground wore no identifying patches, and their names were never released. They belonged to Delta Force. There was no press conference featuring the operators, no best-selling memoir, and no movie deal. The official announcement simply credited coalition forces. 3 years later, Delta tracked Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the brutal leader of al-Qaeda in Iraq. After weeks of surveillance, they pinpointed his location and coordinated an airstrike that ended his campaign of terror. The Pentagon released a statement and a grainy photo, but the details of the operation and those who made it possible remained locked away. In October 2019, Delta operators launched a nighttime raid in northwest Syria. Their target was Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the self-declared caliph of ISIS. After breaching the compound, the team chased Baghdadi into a tunnel where he triggered a suicide vest. President Trump acknowledged Delta's role, but the operators' identities stayed hidden. Medals were awarded in private, and the story faded from the headlines. Each of these missions shaped the course of global conflict, yet the men behind them returned to the shadows. Public credit was brief, if it came at all. For Delta Force, success meant disappearing, leaving no trace but the outcome. Delta Force's silence is not just a matter of tradition, it is written into law and enforced by the strictest measures in the American military. Every operator signs a lifetime non-disclosure agreement, binding them to secrecy long after their service ends. The legal framework is unforgiving. The Espionage Act carries penalties of up to 10 years in prison for each unauthorized disclosure of classified information. The Intelligence Identities Protection Act adds further risk, making it a federal crime to reveal the identities of covert operatives. Even discussing the unit's existence or tactics can trigger investigation. For Delta, these rules are not theoretical. Violators face blacklisting, the quiet but absolute exclusion from the community. As one former operator said, "We are very strict with our quiet professionalism. If someone talks, you will probably be blacklisted. Enforcement is real and public when necessary." In 2016, Matt Bissonnette, a former SEAL Team 6 operator, agreed to forfeit $6.6 million in profits from his book about the bin Laden raid after bypassing required government review. While Bissonnette avoided criminal charges, the government's civil suit sent a clear warning: break silence, and you risk your career your reputation, and your financial future. In Delta, the consequences are even more severe. No operator has ever published a memoir without approval. The threat of prosecution and the certainty of exile mean the stories of Delta Force stay locked behind closed doors, their details fading quietly into history. Publicity has reshaped the world of naval special warfare in ways few could have predicted. Young recruits now arrive at BUD/S with images from movies and memoirs already burned into their minds. The SEAL name opens doors to media deals, speaking tours, and business ventures, opportunities that stretch far beyond the battlefield. Some veterans have built entire careers on their service, trading camouflage for cameras and boardrooms. The surge in applications after blockbuster films and bestsellers speaks to the magnetic pull of fame, even if official numbers remain classified. But this visibility comes with a cost. Every story told, every tactic revealed, chips away at operational security. Adversaries study open-source material, families find themselves in the public eye, and the line between valor and celebrity blurs. Inside the community, leaders like Admiral William McRaven have warned that the very attention fueling recruitment and national pride also threatens future missions. Delta Force, by contrast, accepts the price of silence. Medals are awarded behind closed doors. Operators return to ordinary lives, their achievements known only to a handful. The fame that lifts one unit can also endanger it. The silence that shields another can make its sacrifices invisible, even to those it protects. The difference between fame and anonymity isn't just tradition, it's a choice enforced by law, culture, and consequence. As SEAL stories fill headlines, Delta's silence guards national secrets. In an age obsessed with heroes, real power may belong to those whose names we will never know. Share your thoughts below.